here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Command my hands, what must they do? Command my heart, it's here for you. God is the love that heals all creation. God is creator, all and all. God needs us to shine a light as we as you use me. Oh, God, I stand for you. And here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Please show me. Oh, yeah. And God needs every one of us. Shine His light. And God needs us. Shine His light. God needs us, yeah. Shine His light as me. And as you, please use me. Please use me. Please use me, God. I will always stand for you. And here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Please show me all that I must do. I'll do whatever you ask. You show me all that I must do.
Hi, I just want to take a moment to share with you my joy about our upcoming February Sunday series. It's all about love. I'll be exploring the 4 Greek words used for love in Christian scripture. Agape, of course, is the unconditional love of God, and that's where we're going to end up the month, and also the culmination of our Black History Month observation. We'll also be exploring familial love, storge. We're going to explore creative, passionate love, eros. We're going to talk about philia, which is it's friendship love, but it's also chosen family and our spiritual friends who walk the path with us. I think there's a lot here for us in our healing, in our growth, in our becoming. I hope you'll join us every Sunday in February at Unity of Houston.
Hi, my name is Ann. At this time last year, I signed up for the Absolute Abundance Metamorphosis course taught at Unity. I was in a job I was not happy with and wanted to find something new. During the course, I left the job and then the lockdown came. So I was in an even worse situation, I thought. But I kept going to the courses, I kept working with the principles, gratitude, forgiveness, ideas of infinite possibilities. I don't have to have all the answers. I just need to stay within the belief and work with the system. And it worked. I have a job. I have a wonderful, wonderful company. I'm making 30% more than what I wrote on the goal, and around September 1st, we were in final negotiations. I had totally forgotten about writing that goal, but I looked back through the book and I wrote it over and over and over again, and it happened. I am signing up for Absolute Abundance again, and cannot wait to find out what God has in store for me through this next course.
'Cause I know that you're able. Hi, good morning, everyone. I have a question for you this morning. Do you have a desire to connect with like-minded people on topics that are of interest to you? If you said yes, then I invite you to join one of our 7-week spirit groups that launches on February the 7th. I'm excited to be facilitating a group on Napoleon Hill's best-selling book, Think and Grow Rich. This group is for men and women, and there are many groups to choose from. Today is sign-up day, and the bonds that are created during this group time is just amazing. The friendships that are made, the bonds that are made, is just so heartwarming. The connection is just so beautiful. I invite you to go to Unity Houston. On our homepage, you'll see spirit groups. Click on spirit groups and see which group is whispering to you to join.
Greetings, light bearers. I have 2 opportunities to share. 2020 has been a reminder that the only constant is change. We are all in transition. So this course, Finding Yourself in Transition, is a wonderful way to help us manage and navigate the transitional forces from within and without, and to see the beauty in the personal transformation and spiritual awakenings that can come forth. The second is what happens when we can take our imagination and our intuition and bring those forces together. The imagination is that part of our mind that unfolds and shapes and brings from the invisible into the visible. And the intuition is the connection with the divine mind that speaks to us and through us. When we bring those together, we can create a divine idea that leads to the divine expression. Bring your scissors, your glue sticks, and your magazines, and let what come forth as your divine expression come forth in Soul Collage.
Today. I know we're having a little issue with our website, so I guess I can't really talk to those people who aren't able to get on our website, but we are on all the other platforms. We are a go, so maybe if any of your friends reach out and say, where are they? Where's that service? We are on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, all of that. They can still find us there. And for your information too, if you ever run into a problem in accessing us on the platform you normally do, you might check some of the others, and we might still just be here live, ready to bless you on a Sunday morning. I want to just take a moment to let you know about another opportunity for your support and your growth here at Unity of Houston. It's called Journey Through Grief, and we offer this several times a year. Reverend Mindy Lawrence Curtis is an amazing facilitator of this work. That grief is an aspect of love, and when we have lost a loved one, it is an opportunity for us to heal and to grow. And so also, to get support. It's a class, and it's almost like a support group too. So it's online, as all of our classes are right now. So you can sign up today on the website, and you'll get a Zoom link. Of course, the class is free. Love offerings are encouraged, but not expected. So if you have lost a loved one and would like to get some beautiful support, I invite you to join Journey Through Grief with Reverend Mindy for the next 4 Sundays. If you are new to us and you haven't had a chance to fill out our connection card, this would be the perfect opportunity for you to do that. I would say it's pinned on the home page of our website. That's where it normally is. You may not be able to get to that this morning, but you can go to Facebook, and it will be pinned in the comments section on our live stream this morning. What we'd also love to have right now is any of you who have more than one person on watching your screen of this service, just let us know. We just sort of like to get a census of who's joining us live for our Sunday morning worship service. Thank you so much for being with us today. I always like to say that wherever you are on your spiritual path, you are most welcome at Unity. It's time for a meditation, and Siobhan and the band are going to do a beautiful musical introduction into our meditation today.
give myself away so you can use me. I give myself away. Oh, I give myself away so you can use me. I give myself away. Oh, I give myself away so that you can use me. I give myself away. I give myself away so you can use me. Here I am, and here I stand. God, my life is in your hands. Lord, I'm longing to see your desires revealed in me. So I give myself away. Oh, I give myself away so that you can use me. I give myself away. Oh, I give myself away so you can use me. I give myself away every day in every way. I give myself away so you can use me. Oh, I give myself away. I give myself away so you can use me. I give myself away.
Feeling the depth of that surrender. Let us move into the silence together, following the breath in and out of the body, releasing any attachment in thought to past or future. We are here now, available, open. Breathing deeply. You might notice if there is any resistance to this surrendered space within you. Thoughts that want to continue to intrude upon our meditation time. Perhaps there's something in the body that is asking for attention. This time is not meant to be a punishment. Be gentle with yourself. Just be present as best you can in this moment. And truly, that's what that phrase means. I give myself away. Just anything about the self that would stand in the way of our oneness with God, we release it. We let it go. Any attachment whatsoever. And then we are invited into this experience of spaciousness. We are our spirit, mind, body, and soul, each aspect of our being is available for us to connect to God, to life. And so in the body, we surrender, we allow, relaxing, deepening in the breath. Be here now. In the heart and the mind, releasing any thought or any emotional attachment, any fear, any resentment, any sadness. We let it go. Just be here now, present. Sitting here together in this perfect moment, begin to feel a deeper connection to the deeper life of God within you. The part of us that existed before we took birth and that will exist long after we have laid down our bodies. The soul being the individualized expression that holds experience. Don't know exactly how to describe what soul is, but like a bell that rings when we are near something real and important, we feel it in our soul. So we open the soul to the experience of presence right now. And we say, my spirit, but in truth there is only one spirit. Each of us an individualized expression of the light of God. This is our truest identity. The deepest part of us, birthless, deathless, changeless, eternal, before time began. So right now, anything that stands in the way of connection, of peace, of love, we give it away, we let it go. Right here, right now. I am one with the one life of God. I open to be its vessel, its channel for good in my world, in my family. I am here to reveal love where there is no love in my perception. I am here to be the light in the darkness that I perceive. I am here, available, willing, ready. Use me. This space of willingness, this openness that we choose, we make a decision to release attachment, to become available and spacious. something opens within us to the one life of God, to the great possibility and potentiality of Spirit itself. Our words are the words of Spirit. Our actions, the actions of Spirit. So the power of God moves through our human experience into our world. We become a place of possibility, of connection, of forgiveness, of release, of healing. We are here. We are available. We are ready. Shine through us now, God, that we may illuminate this world. We are grateful. Amen.
Continuing to feel that gratitude as we move our energy back to this space and our awareness of this present experience. What a blessing it is to have this time to remember the truth of our being, our true divine nature. We know that the nature of God is abundant expression, is always flowing, always giving, always generous. And so with our hearts open, we have the opportunity to give to this ministry, to allow God to express as us in the way that we give, knowing that as we give into this ministry, as we give our God energy through our good into this ministry, it continues to flow out in multiplied ways into our community, to others, and return to us in the way that this ministry shows up for us all throughout the week. And if you are not connected with us throughout the week, there are so many ways that you can be a part of this ministry. So check that out. We want to support you through this time, especially since we're not present here together. So thank you for supporting us at the generosity of your gifts through our website, through our text to give this morning. We are so grateful for you. We love you, and let us show our love together for the gifts we are giving by blessing them with our offering prayer. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all the good I am and have, all the good I give and receive, and so it is. Amen.
There is an endless song, and it echoes on through the music that you sing. And though the storms may come, I am holding on to the rock I cling. How can I keep from singing your praise? How can I ever say enough? How amazing is your love? How can I keep from shouting your name? I know that you bless everything, and it lose my step and I fall down again. I can sing 'cause you pick me up, sing 'cause you're there. I can sing 'cause you hear me, Lord, when I call to you in prayer. I will sing with my last breath, sing forever, that I sing with all the angels and all the saints forevermore. Yeah. How can I keep from singing God your praise? How can I ever say enough? How amazing is your love? How can I keep from shouting your name? I know I am loved by you forevermore, and it makes my heart wanna. I'm loved forevermore, and it makes my heart wanna. I am loved forevermore, and it makes my heart wanna sing God forevermore. Praise your name. I love you, Lord. Sing.
My goodness, you did sing a little bit, didn't you, Miss Julia? Wow, that's powerful. Thank you. I can feel the energy that would be in this room from all of you who, if you were here with us. Today is the completion of our 5-part series on the evolution of consciousness in humanity. I don't remember exactly what I called this series, but that's what it is. It's conscious evolution. That's what we've been talking about. And I knew that today I wanted to complete it with a call for each of us to take up our part. You know, there have been 107 billion human beings since our species first emerged on this planet. And each one, those of the 7 billion who are here right now and all of the 100 billion before us, we're carrying a seed of the becoming, of what's possible in humanity. But first, a joke. I've been using spiral dynamics as the lens through which to view human evolution in consciousness, and just a real brief reminder that blue is the level of legal law, rule following, and a lot of religion kind of hangs out here because you got to follow the right rules in order to be right with God. And then just above that is what we call the orange level. It's the return of rational mind, rational thought. It's about the strive drive, the individual breaking those bonds of some of the rules and doctrines of the earlier religious levels. And then what comes is green. You know, that's what we have a friend of our community here that she said she found unity by Googling hippie church in Houston. And so we might be existing somewhat at that green level that we seek to embrace all people. We seek to be a place of coming together, and particularly aware of those who have suffered oppression. So this is a joke that says what happens when religion moves into green. Now, this specifically names another denomination that we sometimes get confused with, but I'm not going to name them because that wouldn't be very green. All right. How many of this denomination does it take to change a light bulb? We choose not to make a statement either in favor or against the need for a light bulb. However, if in your own journey you have found that light bulbs work for you, that is fine. Whether your light is bright, dull, or completely out, you are loved. You can be a light bulb, a turnip bulb, or a tulip bulb. You are invited to write a poem or compose a modern dance about your personal relationship with your light bulb and present it next month at our annual Light Bulb Sunday service, in which we will explore a number of light bulb traditions, including incandescent, fluorescent, three-way, long life, and tinted, all of which are equally valid paths to luminescence. Bring bulb of your choice and a covered dish. Isn't that great? It's really important that we keep a sense of humor about all of this. And I just want to remind you, as we're looking through the lens, these are not hard and fast, and no person or no organization is a single meme or color or level of consciousness. We are all sort of a constellation of these memes, but we might have a center of gravity at a particular level. And so today, as we're talking about how the individual conscious evolution relates to the evolution of humanity, I was thinking of this. I believe it was attributed to John F. Kennedy Jr. that says, when the tide rises, it lifts all boats. He may not have originated that statement, but you get the idea. That if we are all of our awareness, our consciousness, our growth, our healing, our becoming is contributing to the sea level of our entire species, that we all are contributing to the healing of humanity. My friend and mentor, Dr. Kathy Hearn, she said that when we, as individuals on a spiritual path, heal a false belief in our own consciousness, we heal it not only for ourselves, but for all people, past and future. We're all part of the healing and the revelation of the wholeness. This morning, as I was preparing for the message, I've been meditating on the Psalms a lot recently. There's something about those ancient writings that so many of them are written in the midst of dark and troubling times, reaching out to the light, reaching out to God in the middle of what can be a struggle. Beth Moore she's actually local here in Houston, but she's a well-known Bible teacher in the evangelical movement. She says this: in complicated times when we're not sure how we're going to navigate the days and challenges ahead, and we know it's going to get rough, here are 2 basic instructions in 7 words that can cover a whole lot of ground. Trust in the Lord and do good. Psalm 37:3. Trust in the Lord and do good. I was so moved by that post that she put on social media that I began to really study and contemplate Psalm 37. It's quite long. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I want to share some of it with you now. And then I'm going to give you some unity metaphysical Bible interpretation of some of these words. Starting with verse 1, do not fret because of those who are evil, or be envious when those who do wrong. For like the grass, they will soon wither. Like green plants, they will soon die away. Trust in the Lord and do good. Dwell in the land and enjoy safe pasture. Take delight in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. Commit your way to the Lord. Trust in him, and he will do this. He will make your righteous reward shine like the dawn, your vindication like the noonday sun. Be still before the Lord and wait patiently for him. Do not fret when people succeed in their ways, when they carry out their wicked schemes. Refrain from anger and turn from wrath. Do not fret, it only leads to evil. For those who are evil will be destroyed, and those who hope in the Lord will inherit the land. A little while, and the wicked will be no more. Though you look for them, they will not be found. And I'm jumping to verse 35. I have seen a wicked and ruthless man flourishing like a luxuriant native tree, but he soon passed away and was no more. Though I looked for him, he could not be found. From a surface reading, that is so dualistic. There are the wicked people, the evil people, and the righteous people. So I'm going to invite you to, I know there's a lot of pejorative and a lot of baggage with some of this religious language, and I'm going to ask you to let that go and come with me on a little journey about what these terms might be pointing to that is relevant and that is absolutely in alignment with our teaching of oneness and unity. Righteousness. It's a word that carries a lot of baggage. If we grew up in a blue church, it had to do with following the rules, getting it all right, purity in our sexual lives, in our dietary lives. There's so many things about that. It's high morals and standards. That is not what the word means. Nothing wrong with any of that. But what the word actually means is right standing with God. We might think about in right alignment with eternal truth, might even be a better way to think of it. When we are authentically connected to our deepest nature as expressions of God's love, Do you feel that, what that feels like now? It's not about any outward rules or following them or not. It's not about getting rewarded or punished. It's about being in alignment with the truth of who God created us to be that expression of light, love, joy, peace, beauty. That's righteousness. And the term wickedness, except for that great Broadway musical, we don't think of wicked as being very positive sometimes. It also has, it's like this old kind of, like I said, pejorative baggage, like, oh, those wicked people over there. It tends to, those who are not following the rules with us. And from a level of blue and religious understanding, that's exactly the way it's often used. That if you're of the book, if you follow the rules, you've done the right creeds and the processes that by which you are a part of us, then you're in, and the rest are the wicked. That's not what it means. That what this term means is those who have fallen asleep to the truth of their own magnificence. It has to do with stepping outside of that authentic, natural expression of the light of God that we are. It has to do with the egoic mind. Remember that wonderful acronym we sometimes use, edging God out, EGO? It has to do with when we seek to fulfill our needs from a purely earthly and a human focus. It leads to addiction. It leads to criminality. It leads to stealing and murder. It leads to all those things. If we are not aligned with the truth of who we are in love, we can do some crazy stuff in this world. Amen? Thank you, singers and staff. I appreciate that. And so as it says, this is where I really want to get to today as we're talking about this conscious evolution piece. It said the wicked will dry up and blow away like the grass in the field. It's not talking about people. It's talking about thought systems. It's talking about belief systems that are present in the world that are not based upon our oneness, that are not based upon our spiritual power, but are based upon oppression and inequity. They will not last. A few months ago, I had the great honor of being on a panel. It was a thing that Unity World headquarters had put together on the basic principles of our teaching and how they apply in the times in which we find ourselves. And a dear friend and colleague, Reverend Sheila McKeithen, was one of the panelists, and Sheila is amazing. She is actually the president of UFBL, United Federation for Better Living, which is a sister denomination to Unity, created by Dr. Johnny Coleman, a Unity-trained minister and pioneer. And most of the churches in UFBL, they're predominantly African-American and African-Cuban. So having a different experience. Reverend Sheila, she leads a church in Kingston, Jamaica. She grew up in Florida, in the South, experienced a lot of bias and bigotry in her life. And in the topic we were discussing, she was talking about, I believe it was principle 2, I'm not sure, but she was just saying basically that if it ain't true, it won't last. And so white supremacy cannot last because it's not based in truth. And so what is true will remain. That which is not true will go away. And you see how I'm pulling this back into our conversation about conscious evolution, that as we get better, as we heal our false beliefs, our sense of separation, and the spiral actually predicts this, that we do become wider, broader, deeper. We can hold more. There are fewer others outside of our circle. We become big and open and spacious in our understanding of humanity. And so we lose the need to otherize and scapegoat. It falls away. I love that passage in verse 35 and 36 where it said, I saw a wicked man who was like a strong tree flourishing. But then when I went back, I couldn't find him anywhere. For me, that gives us great hope that these non-truth aligned belief systems that we see demonstrated in our world, they may look like they're solid and they're going to be there forever. They will not. They will not. If they're not based upon spiritual truth, they cannot last. Do you hear me? And this is our hope. And this is our calling as individuals. We are to align the way we see and the way we be with the truth of love, with the truth of divine intelligence. And as we individually heal, as we become more of that is what we are, then we radiate that outward into our world, into our families, into our churches, into our governments. Everywhere we see, we'll begin to recognize this truth is rising up, and that old wickedness, that old falseness will dry up and blow away. But spiritual evolution, when does it occur? And I was thinking about this. When do those old systems dry up and blow away? I'm talking about the individual right now. It's when something within us that we've held on to that we thought to be true is revealed as false, and that belief dies. That is when we evolve. When we have, and it may not even be wicked, it might just be limited. You know, it might just be that it's a belief that served us well for a time, but we've outgrown it. It will no longer support the greatness of who we're becoming. And so when that belief structure is revealed to be limited or false, and we allow it to what was that song that you sang, Siobhan? I give myself away. Anything that's not in alignment with my truth, I'm going to give it away. Then we're free to move into a higher realm, a higher idea, a higher way of living in this world. That's what it's all about. You all know I love stories, and I've been using a lot of individual stories. Since we're talking about human conscious evolution, it's been beautiful to find stories of people who are demonstrating this growth and this becoming. And I've been wanting to share with you the story of Derek Black for some time, and I thought today is the day. If you don't know Derek Black, let me tell you a little bit about him. Derek was born, his mom was formerly married to David Duke, the former KKK Grand Wizard and governor candidate, senatorial candidate, white nationalist. His mom was married to Don Black, who was also a former KKK Grand Wizard, and the founder of Stormfront. It's a website. It's considered to be the largest hate organization in the world. At its peak, about 4 or 5 years ago, they had about 300,000 active people in white nationalism, which they do distinguish from white supremacy, but you get the idea. This is what Derek grew up in. He was a bright kid. He was sort of anointed as the heir apparent in this movement when he was a child. He was smart, capable, loved his family, stepped right into it. He designed the kid portion of the Stormfront website. I know, doesn't that give you pause, that there was actually the children's portion of this website. And he designed it at 10 years old, did the programming at 10 years old. In his early teens, he created his own online radio conversation or show to talk about these ideas. And he actually coined the phrase white genocide at 13. But lest you think he was this horrible, violent being, he wasn't. And neither was his dad. They actually did not believe in using racial slurs, or they didn't condone any sorts of racial violence. They just promoted white nationalism, having a nation that's white only. And they did absolutely believe in white superiority. But they tried to keep it very sort of clinical. It's proven by the IQ scores and so on. And that's who Derek was. And when in his late teens, he was very well known in that movement. He would speak often at these conferences for white nationalists. And he's an interesting kid, because even though that was the world he grew up in, his parents homeschooled him, and they just kind of let him chart his own course. So anything that was interesting to him, they let him learn about it. So he built his own saltwater aquarium, was very interested in the environment and the way systems work together, became incredibly, maybe even fixated on, interested in medieval Europe, and had sort of glorified it as being this wonderful pinnacle of human honor and achievement, and for the white race. And so he chose to go to a liberal arts school in Florida, and everybody kind of raised an eyebrow at that in his world. It's like,
You know, those liberal arts colleges, they are the hotbed of the weird stuff, the wickedness from that perspective, you know, all those liberal people and those professors. But he went. He made the decision to keep his family and his ideology and his politics quiet. He didn't talk about it. He was just, again, continuing his practice of studying what was interesting to him. Medieval history was really interesting to him. About a year and a half into his college program, he had the chance to go to Germany to study abroad. He wanted to improve his German. He wanted to learn more of the history there. And while he was there, it was revealed on what's called the Forum, which is the student social media platform, who he was. And they were showing this is a member of our school, this white nationalist who has these radio shows and who coined the term white genocide. He's one of our students. And you can imagine, in a small liberal arts college, it set off quite a furor. And so that he came back to the college campus in the midst of all this, and he moved off campus, just kept to himself. He didn't quit. And there was a lot of conversation among the students. What do we do? Do we get rid of this guy? He stands for everything that we're against. And a lot of people did. They protested his being allowed on campus. And people didn't know him, use rude gestures when they saw him on campus. But one guy, I don't want to get his name right because I thought it was pretty amazing. Matthew Stevenson. Now, Matthew wasn't the only Jewish kid on campus, but he was the only one who was Orthodox in his practice, and he wore a yarmulke 7 days a week whenever he was out. He practiced Shabbat in his apartment and invited friends for the Friday night traditional dinner and service. And he decided to invite Derek Black to Shabbat. And his friends were like, "What the heck are you doing? Inviting this white nationalist to Shabbat?" Because white nationalists don't really view Jewish people as white. They're part of the problem. But Matthew had this idea. He got this idea that if we can be like water that is pushing against the stone, we may not see a lot of results, but it's a gentle, soft approach to changing someone or changing something. And so when he had Derek over for his first Friday night Shabbat, there were only a couple other people because the rest left. But what Matthew noticed was that Derek was calm, gentle, he had good manners, and they just decided not to talk about the elephant in the room. They talked about other things, and they began a friendship. And pretty soon, other friends heard that he was not causing any trouble. He wasn't yelling. He wasn't foaming at the mouth. They started coming back around too. And Matthew said, "We're not going to talk about white nationalism here. We're just going to have a conversation." One of those friends was Matthew's roommate, Allison. And she wanted nothing to do with Derek, this white nationalist. And she knew that she was as white as they came, and if people saw her with him, they might assume some things, and that didn't feel good to her. But she did come to Shabbat. She wouldn't even look at him. She wouldn't engage him in conversation, but she also noticed that he wasn't what she thought he would be. And so Matthew just kept this idea. We're just going to just be with him, engaged. And so this is what was one thing that Matthew said I wanted to share with you. He talked about that water and the stone idea. He said the basic principle is that it's our job to push the rock, not necessarily move the rock. That's the only part we can control. Just give it time. In other words, we're not seeing Derek change by our friendship, but we're just going to keep doing this. Well, Allison was on board, but she developed, and then later she became girlfriend to Derek. So they started spending a lot more time together, and she wasn't content with not questioning and calling forth a conversation about his beliefs. And so at first it was really awkward between the two of them. They liked each other a lot, but it was hard to talk about these things. But they did, and they persisted. And then other people began to confront Derek about his beliefs, and they got to a lot of the truth of what was going on. He had been fed some wrong information. And remember, Derek is very sciencey minded, very orange on the spiral. And so when he got better information, he kind of threw out the old ideas. But it took 2 years. And after 2 years of this approach of friendship, engagement, conversation, challenging hard conversations, Derek Black renounced white nationalism publicly. He wrote a letter to the Southern Poverty Law Center, and they published it. Caused, as you can imagine, a huge rift with his family. His parents almost disowned him. The thing I want us to remember about this story is that change often comes slowly, and change often doesn't come, at least not in the way that we had hoped. Matthew and Allison, Derek's friends, had faced a lot of pressure. They thought they weren't helping anyone, but they persisted. Even after Derek had disavowed white nationalism, he didn't want to be public about it. As you can imagine, he was like a 20-year-old kid. He just wanted to leave it behind. And so he for graduate school, he moved across the country, took a different name, just wanted to leave it alone. But Allison, his girlfriend, they can have influence, I hear. She gave a little bit more pressures, like, I think you need to think about this. There's so many journalists asking for the story of how this prominent white nationalist teenager had come to evolve and disavow this teaching. And eventually what happened was that Derek had this realization that even though he was no longer supporting or cultivating that false belief system, the seeds that he had planted were still flourishing and growing all around him. Like that tree from Psalm 37. It looked so healthy, unfortunately. And so a couple of years ago, Derek made the decision to tell his story, and it's a wonderful book called Rising Out of Hate. And if you're interested in more of the story, I would encourage you to get the book and read it. There's a quote from William Faulkner. It says, "The past is never dead. It's not even past." I know, like, we love those stories of business success. They're much tidier when we tell them. We go, oh boy, he applied Unity principles and made millions of dollars and helped a lot of people. Yay, this one is still unfolding. It's a powerful story of change, of possibility. A couple of things, I'm going to close here. Sanford was I don't even remember his first name, but he developed a theory on educational development. He said that to grow, you need two things. You need challenge and you need support. Both of those things are necessary he was really speaking about the education system and students, but it's true for us as well. It's true for Derek. He needed to be challenged, but he needed support. He had a tribe. If we think about the purple on the spiral dynamics, he grew up in a tribe that supported him, affirmed him, loved him. And the way that he was able to move into a new way of being, he had to have a new tribe around him. And he found them, people who were willing to stay engaged with him, supporting him, and yet challenging him. Why did they do it? I mean, many of us are seeing similar challenges in our own families and groups of friends where people have such different views and such different realities, and it's just easier just to unfriend them. I don't want to look at what you're saying. I just don't want to do that. It's so much harder to stay engaged and not condone. You get it? And they didn't. Matthew Stevenson, when I saw this in an interview, I was up early this morning watching all these interviews with him, with Derek and the writer of the book. And then Matthew was on one of the interviews too, and he said, well, what you need to know about me is that my mom is a member of AA. And so I always believed that people could change. And so that's why he kept wanting to be the water, pushing against the rock, as he believed that change was possible. The other thing I want you to know is that I believe that change can come quickly. It may feel like, if you had that experience where it seems like for a long time nothing is changing, and then one day it's all different. I think that's possible. I think it's possible for humanity who it seems like we're struggling with some of the same problems we've had for centuries. But I think if enough of us stay engaged, we support one another, we challenge one another, and we open our hearts, I believe that we can change and lift us all to a higher place. So I want to close with a little bit of a psalm, Psalm 51, and then I want you to join with me in a prayer for the evolution of our people. Create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within me. Create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within me. Cast me not away from thy presence, O Lord. Take not thy Holy Spirit from me. Restore unto me the joy of my salvation, and renew a right spirit within me. Right now, in this moment, I open my heart to you, God. I release anything that is unlike the truth of your presence, your power, my own presence, my own power. I let it go. I'm willing to release old and limiting thought structures and belief systems that have no place in the glory you have designed me for. I am willing to be broken open, to let the lesser die and dry and blow away, that I may inhabit the greater. So what I know in this moment is that all within the sound of my voice are joining me in this prayer, that this community, Unity of Houston, is poised and ready to be a beacon of healing, of growth, of becoming more of who we already are. And so we say yes, create in us a clean heart as we seek to release any false idea, to step more fully into the possible thinking, the possible living, the possible actions and words that will unite humanity, that those who are broken shall be made whole, those who are ill will become healed, that we may reveal the truth of us. We say yes. We give thanks. And so it is. Amen.
When lonely feelings chill the meadows of your mind. Just think, when winter comes, can spring be far behind? Beneath the winter snows, the secret of a rose is merely that it knows you must believe in spring. Just as a tree is sure its leaves will reappear, it knows its emptiness is just the time of year. The frozen mountain dreams of April's melting streams, how crystal clear it seems you must believe in spring. Angry voices drown the music of the spheres, and children face a world that's far beyond their years. Above the darkest skies, the full horizon lies, with all the reasons why you must believe in spring. You must believe in love and trust it's on its way. Just as the sleeping rose awaits the kiss of May, so in a world of snows, where things will come and go, where what you think you know you can't be certain of, you must remember spring and love.
Today is our last day to accept applications for a board of directors, so please turn them in by midnight tonight. It is a beautiful day on our Unity campus, and we invite you to come onto campus and bring your pet food donations. We'll be accepting pet food donations from 12:30 to 2 today in our sanctuary drive-thru. We also still have some white stones available, and you can come pick up a white stone in the same place to be prepared for our white stone ceremony on Wednesday night.
Thank you so much for being a part of the becoming of God that is happening in this community and in our world. So I invite you now as we sing our song, which so affirms this: let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Together, let's speak the words of our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. And today we remember God is good all the time.
It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day.